Welcome to the Deputy Educational Officer Preparation Program. This is the DEO Exam Study Guide, a complete 42-slide high-yield review program covering all 8 core syllabus domains. Question number 1. In a constructivist classroom, which of the following best describes the primary role of the educational instructor? Correct option is C, to act as a facilitator who designs active, scaffolded experiences and environments. This perspective changes the traditional class paradigm from teacher-directed content delivery to dynamic collaborative student exploration. Constructivist learning theories assert that learners build conceptual schemas based on active experiences rather than soaking in passive data. Question number 2. According to David Kolb's experiential learning model, what is the correct chronological sequence of the stages in the learning cycle? Correct option is B, concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, active experimentation. This continuous loop demonstrates that effective learning requires both doing and deep analytical reflection. Learners progress from direct involvement in a task to reflecting on it, forming mental models, and finally testing those models in new scenarios. Question number 3. Which instructional dynamic is fundamental to the successful implementation of the flipped classroom model? Correct option is B, moving foundational, lower-level cognitive work home, and collaborative, active learning to the classroom. This framework inverts standard workflows to maximize classroom time for personalized feedback and interactive problem-solving. According to Bloom's revised taxonomy, foundational remembering and understanding occur individually at home, while higher-level synthesis happens in class. Question number 4. In student-centered active learning, which element is considered the main catalyst for developmental growth? Correct option is B, structured metacognitive reflection on practical tasks. Active involvement alone is incomplete without critical self-reflection on how one has approached a problem. Authentic integration depends heavily on metacognition, which means evaluating one's own thought processes during task completion. Question number 5. What structural attribute primarily differentiates an academic discipline from generalized school subjects? Correct option is B, specific research methodologies, unique terminologies, and dedicated bodies of peer-reviewed research. Academic disciplines have dedicated communities of practice, specialized vocabularies, and standardized research methods. To be classified as a discipline, a field must possess a distinct history of inquiry and systematic ways to evaluate truth. Question number 6. Which description accurately identifies the process of interdisciplinary curriculum planning? Correct option is B, merging methodologies and tools from different fields to create a single, unified conceptual structure. This practice blurs rigid traditional margins to solve complex, real-world puzzles that do not fit neatly into a single subject box. It stands distinct from multidisciplinary structures where separate subjects are simply studied side by side. Question number 7. What core principle is foundational to Jerome Bruner's spiral curriculum model? Correct option is B, revisiting complex topics repeatedly with increasing depth and conceptual difficulty over time. This method builds systematically on prior schemas, ensuring that ideas are continuously reinforced and expanded. Bruner posited that any subject can be taught effectively in an intellectually honest form to any child at any developmental stage. Question number 8. Which objective represents a core guiding principle of the National Curriculum Framework in India? Correct option is A, linking academic learning directly to life outside school to bypass rote memorization. The National Curriculum Framework aims to shift learning away from dry, isolated textbook structures toward meaningful, localized experiences. Its key pillars include shifting learning patterns away from rote styles and enriching the curriculum beyond standard textbook boundaries. Question number 9. At which grade level does the National Education Policy 2020 mandate the systematic integration of vocational education exposure? Correct option is B, grade 6. Early exposure to vocational elements aims to reduce historical social stigmas surrounding hands-on labor and professional trades. The policy mandates that every child must learn at least one vocational trade starting in middle school, supported by 10-day bagless internship periods. Question number 10. The National Skills Qualifications Framework organizes qualifications according to levels of knowledge and skill. How many levels exist? Correct option is B, 10 structured progressive proficiency levels. Within this framework, Level 1 represents the basic entry-level skill profile, while Level 10 aligns fully with advanced research doctorate standards. This matrix standardizes competency domains and supports both vertical and horizontal mobility for learners. Question number 11. What primary operational objective uniquely separates formative assessment from summative assessment? Correct option is B, evaluating student progress continuously to provide feedback and adjust instruction. Formative assessment is explicitly defined as assessment for learning, serving as a developmental tool to guide day-to-day teaching. In contrast, summative assessment occurs at the end of instruction to evaluate final learning outcomes and award grades. Question number 12. When is a diagnostic assessment most effectively administered within an instructional cycle? Correct option is B, before instruction begins to identify pre-existing learning barriers and misconceptions. Diagnostic testing helps teachers plan effective target instruction by identifying specific knowledge gaps before launching a new unit. This allows for proactive remediation rather than reactive correction during final evaluations. Question number 13. In modern performance appraisals, what is considered the most reliable gauge of teacher performance? Correct option is B, multi-source feedback using self-appraisals, peer reviews, and student feedback. This comprehensive approach provides a balanced view, encouraging continuous professional development rather than focusing on narrow metrics. Single-source models like evaluating teachers purely on student exam scores often lead to distorted pedagogical practices. Question number 14. What is the fundamental objective of NIEPA's Shala City School Evaluation Program? Correct option is B, supporting school self-evaluation and external reviews to drive institutional quality. Shala City empowers educational institutions to self-evaluate across 7 key developmental domains to address performance gaps. The program comprehensively assesses resource management, teaching learning processes, and community partnerships. Question number 15. A researcher formulates a specific hypothesis based on an established theory, then collects empirical data to verify it. What reasoning flow is this? Correct option is B, deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning represents a top-down logical flow that starts with broad theoretical frameworks and tests them to arrive at specific, verified conclusions. Conversely, inductive reasoning works from the bottom up, moving from individual observations to broader theory formulation. Question number 16. In a positively skewed score distribution, which mathematical relationship represents the correct hierarchy of central tendency measures? Correct option is B, mean is greater than median, which is greater than mode. In a positively skewed distribution, a few unusually high outlier scores pull the arithmetic mean upward toward the tail. The median remains less affected as the true midpoint score, while the mode marks the peak frequency of common scores. Question number 17. Which instructional style is considered most effective for developing children's critical thinking skills? Correct option is B, using Socratic, open-ended questioning and guided debates. Open-ended discussions encourage students to critically analyze evidence, question core assumptions, and evaluate diverse perspectives. True analytical development requires an environment where students actively spot logical fallacies and defend conclusions with evidence. Question number 18. According to Graham Wallace's model, what stage of creative thinking involves the subconscious processing of a problem over a period of rest? Correct option is B, incubation. Taking a deliberate break from a problem allows the subconscious mind to continue processing ideas, which frequently paves the way for a major breakthrough. This stage occurs directly after active preparation and immediately precedes the sudden illumination or flash of insight. Question number 19. Carl Rogers' non-directive counseling model relies primarily on which counselor-client dynamic? Correct option is B, unconditional positive regard and empathic understanding. Rogers believed that providing a supportive, completely non-judgmental environment empowers clients to discover their own solutions and achieve personal growth. The core pillars of this client-centered approach are counselor congruence, unconditional acceptance, and deep empathy. Question number 20. What is the primary role of the Government of India's DIKSHA portal in the school education ecosystem? Question number 20. What is the primary role of the Government of India's DIKSHA portal in the school education ecosystem? Correct option is B, serving as a national digital infrastructure for shared educational resources and teacher professional development. DIKSHA provides high-quality digital learning tools, such as QR-coded textbooks that bridge physical books with interactive digital explanations. It also provides standardized online courses to support professional training for teachers across India. Review complete. You have successfully reviewed all 8 core domains of the Paper 2 syllabus across 20 high-yield exam modules. Good luck with your Deputy Educational Officer examination.